For decades, brand strategy was really this mix of experience, a bit of intuition, and, well, a whole lot of what we'd call gut feel. But right now, there's this massive shift happening. We're trading in that guesswork for actual genuine foresight. And that's what we're going to dive into today, how AI is completely rewriting the entire playbook for brand strategy.
So let's just get right to it with a big question. Think about it. In the world we live in now, trends pop up and disappear in, a few weeks? And new competitors are launching at lightning speed. Is just relying on your gut really enough to keep your brand ahead of the curve anymore? That's the real question we're tackling. And honestly, the answer might totally change how you think about your own brand.
Just look at the difference here. It's pretty stark. On one side, you've got the old way, a strategy based on last year's data and, a hunch. It's slow. It's reactive. But on the other side, you've got this living, breathing strategy that's adapting in real time. It's kind of like the difference between trying to find your way with an old paper map versus using a live GPS that reroutes you around traffic. That's exactly the kind of power AI brings to the table.
And what this really means is we're at the end of guesswork. AI is the catalyst. It's the engine that's letting brands finally move from just reacting to what the market does to actually anticipating it. It gives you a level of precision and foresight that was impossible before.
Okay, but, talk is cheap. We need to see the proof, right? So let's get into it. We're going to look at 5 real-world examples of huge brands that used AI to totally transform their strategies and really lock in their spot in today's market.
All right, first up, a true classic, Coca-Cola. For a brand with that much history, staying relevant, especially with younger audiences, is a constant battle. So how in the world did they tackle that in the age of AI and digital everything? What they did was honestly genius. Instead of just pushing out another ad campaign, they literally handed the creative tools over to their fans with this Create Real Magic platform. Stop and think about that. A brand that's over 100 years old invited the entire world to co-create its future using AI. And the result? Bam! They instantly went from being this nostalgic, classic brand to a modern, innovative collaborator. They made their fans part of the story.
Okay, so if Coke used AI to connect with the masses, Nike did something different. They used it to zero in on the individual. They really understood this powerful truth. Today, we don't just want to buy stuff. We want personal experiences.
And the way they did it was by weaving predictive AI deep into their app. It analyzes everything: your run times, what gear you like, your goals. All of a sudden, Nike wasn't just this giant corporation selling you shoes. Nope. For millions of people, it became something much more powerful. It became this personal performance partner, almost like a coach whispering encouragement right there on your phone.
And of course, you absolutely cannot talk about AI-driven strategy without bringing up the master, Netflix. In the middle of these brutal streaming wars, their secret weapon wasn't just about recommending what you should binge watch next. It went way deeper. They used AI to shape the very identity of their brand.
This quote here really says it all. See, Netflix used its data to get that their brand isn't just one single thing. It's actually millions of different things at the same time. For you, maybe Netflix is the place for dark sci-fi, but for your neighbor, it's the go-to for romantic comedies. They totally moved past old-school mass messaging and created a unique one-to-one story for every single subscriber.
But what about brands that are built on a physical human experience? Like, take Starbucks. They had a really tricky problem to solve. How to use tech to make that beloved coffee shop feeling even better, without, losing the human touch that made it special in the first place.
Their answer was something called Deep Brew. It's this powerful AI engine that's working behind the scenes. It's the reason your app just knows you might want a cold brew on a hot day, or why it suggests a pastry you've never tried but would probably love. And with that, Starbucks changed from being just a place that sells coffee to becoming this AI-powered lifestyle companion that honestly feels like it knows you personally. All right, for our last example, let's look at how AI can build trust, especially in a super crowded market like beauty. For a brand like Sephora, the goal wasn't just about selling more lipstick. It was about becoming the go-to expert for their customers.
And their virtual artist app was such a brilliant use of AI and AR. It lets you try on thousands of different products right from your couch. And this wasn't just some cool gimmick. It was a fundamental shift. By giving people the power to experiment without any risk, Sephora changed its whole brand. It went from being just another cosmetic store to being a trusted, data-driven beauty advisor.
So when you kind of step back and look at all these different examples, we're talking everything from soda to shoes to streaming. You start to see this pattern emerge, right? There's a whole new brand playbook being written, and it's built on 3 core shifts,
all powered by AI.
So the first big shift is what we call dynamic positioning. Gone are the days of having some rigid 5-year brand plan set in stone. With AI, brands can act more like a nimble sailboat, constantly adjusting its sails to catch the changing winds of the market, instead of being like a giant oil tanker that's just locked into one course.
The second one is brand participation, and this one is huge. That old wall between a company and its customers, it's pretty much dissolving. Just like we saw with Coca-Cola, AI is creating these platforms where customers are no longer just a passive audience. They're becoming active co-creators, shaping the brand's story right there with the company.
And number 3, precision journeys. Nike and Netflix are the absolute masters of this. This is the end of that one-size-fits-all marketing we're all tired of. Instead, AI helps craft an experience that is so personal, so ridiculously individualized that it honestly feels like the brand was built just for you.
So, what does all of this actually mean for the future? Well, it's not about machines taking over. Not at all. It's about a powerful new partnership, a merger between human creativity and machine intelligence.
And this quote really gets to the heart of it. AI isn't here to replace the strategist or the creative person. It's an amplifier. It does the heavy lifting, crunching all that data at a massive scale so that our human judgment, our creativity, and our empathy can be applied with way more precision and impact than ever before.
So if there's one key takeaway from all this, it's this. Brand positioning isn't some static document you write up once a year and then forget about. In the age of AI, you have to treat it like a living, breathing system. One that needs to be fed with data, monitored all the time, and adapted relentlessly.
And that leaves us with one final question for you to think about. If your brand really is this living system, what are you doing to help it not just survive but to truly thrive in this new world? Is AI part of that answer?